Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is the Two Old Farts coming at you. I'm Chuck.
I'm Lou. I'm the better looking of two old farts, as
Oh,
verified by our granddaughters the other day at Thanksgiving.
I
The
don't
great
think they said you
granddaughters.
were. I don't think they said you were.
I
I
heard
really
them.
don't. I
We'll go
didn't.
back and check. I'm about to throw the flag. We got the.
I don't. We throw a flag. I don't
Uh,
believe you.
had a great Thanksgiving. I hope
Yeah, it
everybody out
was.
there had a good one too.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The drive up on Wednesday with my son-in-law and you to go get pies. That was good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun with Peter going up and good breakfast there at the Blue Bonnet Cafe. I
Love that
think
place.
I think they always have great food and the service. It was just really nice. It was the lady that served us. She was just so friendly and just down to earth, just good old country folks. And that's what you
Yep.
expect from that part of the country.
I hope so.
Yeah. What do you mean you hope so? That's country folks. That's
Well,
that's how you.
that's what you hope to get when you're there.
That's your background. That's my background. That's where we come from.
Well, that's where you come from. I
Well,
grew up all across the country. I'm the son of a
that's,
Air Force member.
yeah, that's true. And
Grew up
so
predominantly in the South.
there was a good a John Bongiorno. I forgot how you pronounce his name. You know who I'm talking about? He's
No,
on Fox sometimes. He has a podcast. Bongiorno.
Dan
He had,
Bongino.
yeah, he had a really nice Facebook post yesterday talking about the people from the South. He is at the Alabama Auburn game,
Oh yeah,
and you know the comments that he's talking about Southern people and how he'd like to adopt into the South, but you know he's a New Yorker from New York City, I think. But anyway, New York,
yeah. It's either New York or New Jersey.
and he was talking about how nice the people are and the friendliness, you know. And the one thing that struck me is the same thing that we saw a couple of years ago when we went to Texas A&M. When the game was over, how nice people were talking to each other, friendly, no fights, no nasty language, and you know that kind of stuff.
It was the same way up to the stadium when we were struggling to get through the campus to figure out like where is the stadium because you can't
Yep,
see it from where we were dropped off.
yep. You know, and that's the way it should be. You should be able to go to a game and have fun, just like we did. You know,
Yeah,
and
it's just a game, people, and so many people just take it too far. You know, but I tell you what, though, that Auburn game, judging by how they played against us, you would have never known they got the crap beat out of them a week before by New Mexico State. Which
I,
I'm not bad or poor mouthing New Mexico State. They were undefeated. I think they had an 11 game winning streak right now. I think.
and that just goes to what I say all the time. These are young adult boys playing football. Some of them are more mature than others. When you start looking ahead and you get in that mindset that this is going to be a piece of cake, we can beat these guys. Somebody forgets to tell the other team that, you know.
I take that
And
back. They're 10-3, Dad. 7-1 in their conference,
mm-hmm.
and they won 8 in a row.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's a pretty good ball club right there.
absolutely. That's like UT Chattanooga, even though we had a pretty good game against them, but they're still, and if I remember reading correctly, they're playing for their conference championship or in one of the games for the playoffs. I'm not sure exactly what I read about that.
What I think about that game, the coaching, I didn't see. They just kept trying to run the ball. I mean, they're getting beat bad, and I didn't see them taking their shots down the field. And it wasn't like we were sacking the quarterback when he was throwing the ball. So I think it was a little bit of coaching on their part why they didn't, in my opinion, try harder. What do you think?
Well, you know, you never know. Maybe they don't have the receivers and stuff for a passing game. Maybe that's their forte is a running game, and they stick what works
It
for
could
them.
be.
And
Yeah, they're second in their conference. The only team that's ahead of them is Furman.
Yeah.
So Furman is 9-2, and Chattanooga is 8-4.
And I think they're
But
in a.
Mercer is hot on their heels at 9-3.
I thought I read that they were going in a championship game. I'm not sure how that
Yeah,
conference
they're
falls.
probably going to be playing. They might be playing Furman in
Yeah,
the Southern Conference.
but a lot of good games, and you got some good games coming up this weekend. I'll tell you that Alabama game though with Auburn.
Ooh,
That's just,
man, that was a game for the ages.
and I think we were looking ahead, and somebody forgot to tell Auburn, and it was a ball game. I went,
Right down to the last seconds.
yeah, the grave digger play. I thought that was pretty funny when they named that the grave digger play.
I like. We had 2nd and 26 with Tua. I like this one 4th and 31. I mean, let's stay consistent. I like 4th and 31 better.
Yep, and
But that's just me.
You know, when you go back and look at the play, they had three receivers, double coverage over on the right side in that right corner, and then Isaiah Bonds in the left corner with just one receiver. And I thought it was funny. Well, it's not funny, but what the coach talked about, they actually played it. And I've read a couple other stories that this week. One of them was Jalen Milroe, who every Friday he said they practice that play. But that's what good coaches do. They prepare
Man, that
you.
ball was placed right there on the money in the corner. The wide receiver high pointed it like it was drawn up that way. And the funny thing is so many of Auburn's players were in the middle and to the right, and he was the lone receiver to the left with only one defender on him.
Yep.
And Milroe put it in the only place, the best place for his receiver to make a play on the ball, and then falling backwards, the toe tap to stay in bounds, just heads up ball play by both teams. I mean, Auburn shot their shot, and by God, they came out swinging, and they stayed swinging.
And I think Hugh Freeze is a real deal for Auburn. I think they're going to continue to
They
grow.
better hang on to him.
I don't see him leaving anytime soon. There's a lot of coaching changes in the last few days, So
I really would have thought Stoops would have left Kentucky and gone to A&M. I really do, because you look at what he's done there. But he's not going to rise above Tennessee or Georgia, or maybe even Florida, because I think Florida's ascendant. I like what Billy Napier has done the last few games with Florida. They have fought hard against some really good teams. They fought hard against Missouri. They played their hearts out against Florida State.
Yeah, that was a good ball game, close ball game up towards the latter part of the fourth quarter.
To the end, yeah.
I thought they had a chance to win that game.
But since Florida couldn't take them down, I don't think Alabama's going to sneak into the championship to the playoffs this year. I don't mathematically. I don't think there's a chance, because I think Florida State's going to get back in there. I think they're going to replace Ohio State.
Well, Ohio State dropped down to fifth place in the coaches poll. I haven't seen that. Comes out tonight?
The
playoff.
The playoff rankings come out tonight.
But the coaches poll and the AP poll, they dropped down to like fifth.
Yeah, they got in the AP. It's Georgia, Michigan, Washington, and Florida State. And Washington State was hanging tough against Washington.
Yes, they were. I would tell you what, tomorrow night, Oregon better be prepared, because that's going to be a good game tomorrow night.
That's Friday night.
Friday night, yes.
They're playing Washington Friday night.
Yeah.
Hey, and Oklahoma State. Texas better look out. State could sneak in there and steal a victory, but again, I don't think that's going to vault us ahead. We've got to overcome Texas, Ohio State, and Oregon
to get into
to jump in there.
Yeah.
So Florida State's got Louisville. I don't see Louisville beating Florida State.
I don't either. That would be a miracle.
And if Oregon beats Washington, I see Oregon replacing Washington in the playoffs. But I think they go to fourth, not third. Because they're sitting there right at fifth right now. So if Oregon beats Washington, they just flip places.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, too,
Florida State's not going to lose. If Michigan loses to Ohio State, do they flip places?
No, they're playing. I think they're playing Iowa for the championship because they lost to Ohio. Ohio State lost to Michigan the other day, but I think they're playing Iowa in the championship game.
Yep, you're right. They're playing Iowa, so I don't think Michigan's going to lose.
I don't either, but it's a game. You never know.
So if we beat Georgia, do they fall to fourth?
I think if we beat Georgia, I think they'll fall out. I really do.
Why?
I'm not sure I'm not sure what their resume looks like, and it depends on how the playoff board looks at the schedules and those all those kind of things.
The top four teams, the only one that has a shot of losing this week is Georgia. They're the ones that have a legitimate shot at losing. I don't think Iowa's got anything for Michigan. After that hard-fought win from Washington, I don't think Oregon is going to be able to overtake Washington. But they've got just as good a shot, I think, as we do. And I don't see Louisville beating Florida State.
But I think Louisville does have because Florida State's playing with their backup quarterback, and he wasn't bad, but he's still young. He's still inexperienced.
But that's one more week under his belt, and he's got another week of practice.
Yeah, so we'll see. That's why we play the games, and that's why we have podcasts and we have people out making money off of it, right?
Well, yeah, we ain't making no money. That's for darn sure.
No, we aren't. But anyway,
so
there's some good games this week.
So hit like, hit subscribe, follow us in the socials. This is our little call to action. Like us in the socials, follow us, subscribe. You can find us on every platform that does podcasts. We are everywhere. We have our own webpage, www.the2oldfarts.com. If you type in the 2 old farts in Google, we're the first thing that comes up.
Well, we had a real good trip this past weekend. Week before last now.
Yeah, the weekend before Thanksgiving. Yeah, we sure did.
Yeah, 2 trips.
Flew out. Yeah, flew out to Tuscaloosa. Well, technically we flew into Birmingham and then rented a car and drove to Tuscaloosa and spent 2 nights at the fabulous Capstone Hotel. They're on the campus of the University of Alabama. And who would have thought I would have had to fly all the way to Alabama to find Buffalo Trace bourbon and bring it back? That stuff is hard to find here in San Antonio.
Where all the good stuff comes from, right? But give a shout
the
out.
Good stuff usually comes from Kentucky.
Yeah, give a shout out to Enterprise Car Rental. I'll give a big shout out to Enterprise Car Rental. They are just fantastic. So talk about that electric vehicle we rented.
Well, we almost went through that Enterprise app. I had rented us a premium or luxury rental car. I don't remember which one. Because I wanted us to kind of ride in style, And when we were doing the paperwork, the young lady asked me if I wanted an electric vehicle, a Tesla or something like that. And I was like, nah, just gasoline, because I didn't know if the hotel had charging places for the electric car, because we were, about an hour and 5 minutes away?
Yeah.
60, 70 miles it is. And I don't know how long the charge is on these cars. So anyway, long story short, I said, no, we don't want an electric car. We'll just take a gas. And so what she gave me, I guess she thought was gas and not electric, because when we sat in the car, we're looking around. There's no key. Most keys just use a fob. Then I saw the little round knob on the dash, and I'm pushing it, and nothing's happening.
You should have
I mean,
seen him pushing
we were
that button.
turning, we were pushing and twisting every knob, every button, turn signals, everything. Trying to move the gear shift, nothing was working. We sat there, 5 minutes? I mean, we had the bags in the back. We were ready to go and couldn't even get the car started. So we went back inside and asked, can somebody show us how to start this car? And the guy's like, yeah, no problem. He gets in the car and he's looking around. What he thought was supposed to start wasn't working. He's like, huh. And it took him a couple of minutes before he finally got it started. And after watching him struggle, I was like, you know what? I don't want this car. I'm not going to be able to remember how to start this car. And he did say it was electric. And he's like, well, where are you staying? We told him we're in Tuscaloosa. And he's like, yeah, maybe let's get you another car. And they gave us a BMW X3, really nice car. Didn't ride as good as I would have thought from a BMW. That's not Enterprise's fault. I think that's just maybe a bare bones BMW, but I still would have thought it would have rode better. But it was a nice car. Really nice car. Rode in style. Came back, and the guy that got the car started for us, without even asking, he said, just for your troubles, would you mind if I took $40 off your bill? And I was like, heck yeah. I mean, just as nice can be. Just in and out, no problems, no hassles. I've been renting cars from Enterprise for the better part of 20 years, and I've never had an issue with them at all.
Folks, I wish I took some pictures. You should have seen this guy and his frustration how to start that car. That was priceless.
Me? You talking about me?
Oh, man.
Are you talking to me?
I don't see you get frustrated too much, but I wish I had some pictures. We would put that up.
It's at this day and age, at my advanced age, there's very few things that can kick my ass. But that car was kicking my ass.
In fact, I said, I'm not driving this damn thing or something like that.
In fact, yeah, like if he was struggling to start it and I'm trying to watch, if I got to push down on the brake, grab the gear shifter, push some button, and then push another, I'm not driving that dang thing. Whatever happened to the get in the car, put the key in the ignition, put your foot on the gas, and you're ready to go.
And then go. That's right. That was a good trip down there.
What happened?
The roads were great. Some really pretty scenery going down there.
The weather was nice, not too hot, not too cold.
No, the weather was really nice. I expected it to be a little bit chillier than what it was because I checked the temperature and stuff. But it was a beautiful day and just a fun weekend, a great weekend. So I thank you for that. That's right there at the top of my list of all the things we've done. And
this is
fun.
all, yeah. But you're getting to the heart of why we're doing this podcast. Because it is about you and I sharing and spending time together and doing the kinds of things that you never did do. You never took the time for yourself to do anything for yourself.
Yeah, that's so true. And it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, but the klutziness that you get from your mom.
Oh, when we were talking about what we were going to talk about before the show. So tell our tens of listeners what happened with Mom. Was it today?
It was today. So we decided she said, how about Las Palapas? Well, first off, she said, how about Mexican food? I said, okay, whatever. She said, how about something Las Palapas? So I said, okay, I go to Las Palapas and order food for us and come back. And of course, I had steak fajita. And of course, they give you the sauce, with and had some extra guacamole and stuff like that. So your mom takes a what she thought was guacamole, but was that red sauce. So instead of just going around the edges and open it up that way, she pushes down on it. So guess what happens? Sauce
Uh,
everywhere, all over her face, in her right eye, her left eye, all over her shirt. And I hear something, Lewis, help me, help me. So she's in the bathroom and trying to get her to wash it out. And I said, hold your head back. Well, I like talking to that wall back there, She, let me do it. But she can't take her any
yeah,
place.
that klutziness, that is a strong, strong gene that has gone from my mother to me
And
and
you,
to all three of my daughters. All three of them are klutzes. Uh, to various degrees. Sometimes one's more klutzy than the other. But I tell you what, I could do a whole episode on the klutzy, stupid things that I've done. So
yeah, we
could have
could.
been killed a bunch of times.
Yeah,
So I don't know if that's klutziness or just stupidity or if it's a little bit of both. I don't know.
yeah.
But damn lucky to
Probably
be here.
just a little clutchiness, but that's what makes life fun. We'll talk about that somebody else. But I got to tell you, we're going to give a shout out to the McLaughlin family at
Oh,
South,
yep.
the, the, the center there at the University of Alabama. He's from Buford, Georgia, a little place up north of
Yes, he
Atlanta,
is.
about 60 miles, something like that. And you know that Isaiah Bond was from that same little town? I did not
I
know
sure
that
did.
till
When you and I were looking in the game program, we saw that.
yeah. Uh, but that that was just really nice meeting the family. And you said, "Hold my beer while I go to the bathroom." So I said, "Okay." But come out, I'm talking to the family. I saw Mrs. McLaughlin. She had that. It was senior day game too. Senior day for all the seniors and stuff. So, and I
Right.
saw McLaughlin's mom. I just went up, started talking to her. I said, "I love your son. I like watching him play football," and that just got it started, right? When you come out and you're like, "What are you doing?" So we started a conversation. That was that was a fun conversation. And the fun part of it was I had my jacket with a hood inside my jacket. You tried to straighten it out for me earlier. I said, "Nah, it's all right. Just leave it like it is, right?"
Yeah, I asked you if you want me to pull your hood out.
So she went into the mom mode. Next thing I know, she's straightening this thing, pulling it out and patting it down, making it, uh, fixing it up like your mom would do when I'm not dressed right or and those kind of things. That was really fun. And the special moment when she gave me that pen of her son with his picture on it, and he said on it, and it says "Run the damn ball." And it has his picture, and often he's a senior this year, but he has a chance to come back one more year if he wants to.
Oh, because of COVID?
Right. So, but he's had a pretty good career. I didn't. I remember from last year, but he actually played a lot in 2020 when I was reading about it. But just a great family. Their grandmother, and when you get to talking to people, you usually kind of focus on the mom and grandmother and stuff like that. And his girlfriend was with him. I thought that was funny, and she said, "And I'm his girlfriend." I thought that was kind of the way she said it and stuff like that. But, but those are the fun parts of the trip.
And then there are the other parts of the trip. So we got up, walked across campus, got to the stadium. We got queued up to watch the Walk of Champions. We got this videotape Nick Saban leading the football team down the Walk of Champions into the stadium. I got that on video. And if you want to watch the video, you can go to YouTube, look us up at twooldfarts.com. Look us up on the socials. You'll see the link to the video. Anyway, so we get checked in because we could only go into certain gates based on where our seats are. Get in, I grab a beer, and I'm like, "Hey, hold my beer, Dad. I want to go to the bathroom." When I come out, I can't find my dad. And I'm looking around because I'm looking just right there in the immediate area, a little bit left, a little bit right. and I lift my head up a little bit, so I'm looking a little further out. And about 10 or 15 feet, I see my dad surrounded by a bunch of women. And a couple of them are his age. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here with my dad? With all these women surrounding him. And I came up, and she's like, you must be his son. You look just like him, blah, 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 blah. And who the hell are these damn women? Who is he talking to? Who does he know? And so finally, that's when they said that mom was the center, and then that was his aunt and his girlfriend, and it was grandmother too, wasn't it?
Yes.
Wasn't one of them his grandmother? So
yes.
yeah, all those women, because my dad has never met a stranger. But I digress. It started that morning at the Hotel Capstone at breakfast. We went up to the buffet. We got our plates, getting ready to sit down at the table. And I turned, and where's my dad? Because he's like a little puppy or a child. You got to keep an eye on him all the time because you never know where he's going to go. And then I turn and I look, and there's this gentleman, a little bit older than me, younger than my dad, sitting there about ready to eat his breakfast. And then my dad's looking at me saying, son, can you take our picture? And I'm like, Dad, this guy's trying to eat. And he's like, this is Nick Saban's assistant. He's the one that's always on the sideline, keeping him off the field. And I'm like, that's great, Dad. That's nice. And he was just as nice as he could be. He took the picture. So I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. His name is, what is his name? Is it Cedric Burns?
I think so. That was a special moment. He was as nice as I thought he would be. Seeing him on the sideline and things like that, but to meet one of the coaches like that was special. And there was
the guy was trying to eat his breakfast.
His son went over and sat down and had breakfast with him.
Yeah, but that was one of his friends. They knew each other. This wasn't some guy off the street.
Hey, but I asked him.
But this is something that. Go ahead.
I said, but I asked him if he would mind taking me. Oh no.
What did you expect for him to tell you to go F off?
No, he could have said it in a nice way where you could pick up the vibes that he didn't want to be bothered. But that's Alabama, though. That's how people are at Alabama, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier. It was started by Bongino. People are just friendly. And when the game's over, it's over. We're friends and stuff. But I got to tell you this funny story. You've heard it before. It's a long time ago now. It's Auburn week. He's driving down 431, going down to Granny's. Him and this guy got into an argument. They're driving their two vehicles now side by side. So they got to arguing. They rolled the windows down. Of course, you're not going all that fast. He's from Auburn, and of course, Uncle Gene's Alabama, right? They start arguing. Next thing you know, they start pulling pistols out on each other, right down the road.
No way.
Oh yeah, that's how it gets. When in the Auburn week, it can get out.
That's out of control, man.
Yeah, but I always remember Uncle Gene telling me that story.
But back to you, and this is something since you and I have been doing these things together: concerts, restaurants, breweries, distilleries, football games, whatever you name, baseball. I've seen a side of you that I didn't know existed, and it started when you and I went and saw Chubby Checker a few years ago.
Oh yeah,
and he had come. We were what, third or fourth row?
Yeah.
And he came off the stage, and he went in between our row, and then he got back up on stage, and he's like, come on, everybody, let's do the twist. And I looked at you, and I'm just like, do you want to go? And you went, yep. And I was like, holy shit. There goes my dad. We're going to go up on stage, and we're going to do the twist with Chubby Checker. Us and about 50 other 70-plus-year-old men trying to do the twist with Chubby Checker.
Yeah, those are fun memories. And another fun part about our trip was Dreamland Barbecue. I always liked them. I loved their banana pudding, but line was long.
Go ahead. I'm just writing down these things.
Huh?
I said, go ahead. I'm just writing down notes. So
Yeah, the line was
when the
long
podcast is
out
over,
there, and the security officer comes out and he says, "All right, folks, this is family night," or something along those lines. He said, "See the folks in front of you, see the ones behind you, get to know them good because you're going to be eating with them." I thought that was kind of funny. And then that's where it was. We went in there, we set a table. Two other, it was a father and son, I
it was
believe.
3 groups of 2.
Yeah.
3 groups of 2. And you're not going to believe this. In Tuscaloosa, all 3 groups of 2 were all from Texas.
Yep. They were from the Houston area, right? I can't remember now.
The couple to your right were from Houston. The couple, it was a father son, just like you and me. On the other side of the table, they were from Longview,
Right.
up north.
But that was really fun, and you just meet some really nice people. When you go out there and you just talk and just be yourself. You know, but then you don't know how to order sausage.
Dad, we already went through this.
So next time that person
somebody at the table asked about the sausage, and they asked the waitress, "How big are the sausage, or is the sausage?" So you and I are from Texas, and we're expecting sausage links, about yay big, maybe 6, 7, 8 inches long, And when she held up her hand, she went kind of like that. So I said, because you and I were figuring out how to order, because the last time we went to Dreamland, we didn't go to the original, we went to the other one in Northport, and we ordered way too much damn food. I mean, we were like a stuffed tick after we got done, and we couldn't eat it all. I mean, it was obscene the amount of food that came, but that's another story. So we decided we're going to do half a slab of ribs, 2 sausage links. We got a big thing of we got a cup of coleslaw and a big thing of the banana pudding.
Right.
And when them sausage links came out, Dad, they were not this big, but they were like that big.
They were huge.
Huge. So the couple next to us that had ordered the extra slab of ribs for their parents to take back, we had to foist upon them this extra big sausage link to take over there too. At first they thought we were giving it to them to eat, and they were like, no, we're full. And I'm like, no, to take to your family. And they were like, oh, yeah. And there was one rib left, and the guys to my left, he was like, you gonna eat that rib? And I was like, nope. And he took it out and threw it in his box.
Put it in his box. And we got ready to go.
Yeah, there wasn't nothing left.
Yeah, they even offered to give us a ride back to the capstone. I thought that was
they sure did. Yeah, because and I thought we had settled it at the table, and when we came outside, I had already ordered the Uber, and it was on its way. And he's like, and you were kind of hanging back. I'm like, Dad, what are we doing? He's like, we're going to ride with them. I'm like, Dad, I ordered an Uber. And the 2 guys were like, hey, I thought you were coming with us. And I'm like, sorry, I've got the Uber, and it's on its way. Yeah. But that just goes to what you said about being nice, just talking to people, getting to know them. Like an hour ago, we didn't know these 2 people, and next thing you know, they're offering to take us back to our hotel.
Yeah,
and no, they weren't crazy people. They were at Dreamland Barbecue in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, and if you go to Tuscaloosa, that's one place you got to go. You got to, and it's all good food. I just really enjoyed going to the original one. It just takes me back, because you look at the building, it just takes you back in time to where it was back in the 40s and the 50s, and when they first started out, just one person and had a dream about doing something well, and 69 years later, it's still going strong. And
you can order them ribs to go through the internet, and they will mail you the ribs.
Yes, they will. In fact, we did that one year for our Alabama-Auburn game. The food guy here was really good.
Maybe 11 years ago, 12 years ago.
It's been a while.
You know what? It was the Auburn game in 2011, after I graduated at Alabama. We ordered the ribs. That was the first time in 2011 that we went to Dreamland.
Yeah, but it was good. Just a lot of fun. It was real special weekend for me. So I really enjoyed it, and we had a lot of fun and met a lot of nice people, and that's the way it should be. You go to a game, you ought to have fun. You go home and have some great memories.
Yep. So it's about time to wrap it up. We went a little long. We went a little 36 minutes. I guess that's making up for the short one that we did on Thanksgiving. Thank you all for listening. Apologies to you all hearing my cough. Allergies have been really bad here right now, and so I'm battling that. But so please don't be distracted by my coughing. I'm sorry. It's been a great week. It's been a busy week with Tuscaloosa, the Auburn game, Thanksgiving, family in town, going to get pies. We've done a lot in like the last 10 days.
It's been a fun 2 weeks. Really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed it when your daughters are down and your grandchildren are down, and seeing them grow and having fun around them.
Yep, that's what it's all about.
Yes, it is.
And maybe in upcoming episodes, you and I can start dishing out some life advice, and maybe I can get you all to reach out to us on the socials and ask us questions about, ask us questions and life advice, because at our age, we've lived quite a bit of life. Some of us have lived a little bit more life. But so in coming episodes, I'd like to start doing that. I need to reach out to my buddy Jay, who runs a heavy metal website here in San Antonio. He's done a lot of interviews with a lot of the bands that come through town, takes a lot of the pictures of the bands when they come through town because he gets press passes and whatnot. I'd like to get him on the show as a call-in. And we need to reach back out to the center, his mom. I've got her sister's text.
Yeah.
Right, and we need to reach out to her and find out when and if she would be available to call in on the podcast and talk, about whatever she wants to talk about.
Yeah, that would be pretty nice. That'd be pretty awesome. Just really
yeah, we've been a little hesitant about trying it, about trying to get people to interview. So I think it's time to start.
I agree, and that would be two good areas to focus on to begin with.
Yeah, some football, some music, and maybe that could be a launching pad into getting some actual musicians to, sit on our fledgling little podcast. Well, thank you all for listening. We're the Two Old Farts. Like I said, hit like and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Pandora, Player FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. You can find us everywhere. I think you can even find us on Audible.
All right. So how many downloads we had so far? I thought you said 3,000 and something.
3,075 at last count. Let me look. 3,007. Just yesterday, we had the most downloads in one day, 16. That doesn't sound like a lot, but that is a lot for us for one day. Again, we're having that international reach. We've had 3 from Canada. I think it's the same people from Ontario. I don't know what the odds are that Ontario, Canada is downloading our podcast, but I think it's the same people. And we've had Ontario and British Columbia, the UK, and France. So thank you all for listening and downloading. Maybe you stumbled across us by accident, and hopefully you like us. But like I said, hit like and subscribe. We are the Two Old Farts. My name is Chuck.
And I'm Lou.
Are you the better looking of the Two Old Farts?
Well, that's where it is. I'm the better looking of the Two Old Farts.
All right.
Give us a shout out. We'd love to hear from you, and because this is fun doing this.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Y'all take care.
Love you guys, and y'all have a good week.
Thanks. Hey, love you too, Dad.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.